New developments today for Ripple versus the SEC in the longstanding court case. Legal experts weigh in on new potential outcomes that could lead to the SEC losing. Let's talk about that. Welcome back to the Blockhash Podcast channel, and let's talk crypto. Make sure to check out our sponsor, Pika Crypto, as well as our Patreon, where we do chart analysis Monday through Friday. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. All right, let's jump into it. So we have, it's coming soon. At some point here, we're going to have this lawsuit wrap up. Still waiting on Judge Annalisa Torres to give us her ruling on the situation, her final verdict. In the meantime, people are still speculating on what could be the reason that we get the downfall of the SEC losing to Ripple. But we also have a lot of legal experts weighing in on other possibilities that could be the potential outcome and lending their legal advice in other ways. And I want to highlight a new one today. There's a tweet by Stuart Alderoty, or not Alderoty. A tweet by Stuart Alderoty, along with John E. Deaton, who commented on this tweet as well, talking about this insane argument, this schizophrenic theory. I can't talk this morning. Need more coffee, guys. Need more coffee. Talking about this schizophrenic defense and theory by the SEC. But they found in a 1994 court case, Rivak versus SEC Realty Corp., that the SEC is very inconsistent on its stance when constituting a common enterprise. Now, this gets a little bit more interesting. So let's go down and find the case. Or we can just read through the tweet. The tweet says, "The mere showing that the fortunes of investors are tied to the efforts of the promoter, two separate questions posed by Howey, whether a common enterprise exists and whether the investor's profits are to be derived solely from the efforts of others or effectively merged into a single inquiry, whether the fortuity of the investments collectively is essentially dependent upon promoter enterprise." Specifically, in this case, the court said that without a common enterprise, it matters not whether the fortunes of investors are tied to the efforts of the promoter, and that the Howey test is not so easily satisfied, said Alderoty in his tweet, exposing, potentially, the SEC in its sleight of hand. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Does common enterprise play in here for Ripple potentially soliciting XRP to holders? John Deaton continued to argue that the SEC shifted its theory and said that the entire XRP ecosystem constituted the common enterprise, including all XRP holders in the world, all the exchanges that list XRP, and all the vendors or companies that accept XRP as a form of payment. In order to force such a ridiculous overboard claim, says Deaton, the SEC intended to use a hired gun in the form of an expert witness testifying that all XRP holders must rely on Ripple. So, do they rely on Ripple? Is there common enterprise here to really look at? I guess that's going to be an interesting question. I don't know. Did they file this as an amicus as well? I don't know if they did. If you guys know if they filed this as additional support for Ripple, let me know in the comments. But they might try to do so at this point. They're trying to pile things on top of the SEC to try and end this case and give the judge more reason to end it as well. It's not looking good for the SEC anyways, but let's look at this. Other problematic aspects. Morgan also deconstructed. Who's Morgan? Lawyer Bill Morgan agreed with Deaton. Okay. So lawyer Bill Morgan also deconstructed the SEC's argument that the fungibility of XRP was evidence of common enterprise, as all units of XRP rise and fall together, which is one of the parts of a common enterprise. As he explained, the same argument could stand about an ounce of gold, which Ripple's attorneys highlighted as well, but that this was no problem for the SEC. That's interesting, that the SEC would use that as their basis to say that XRP is evidence of a common enterprise. And yeah, gold is not a security, but it's fungible in the same way. And for those that don't know what fungibility is having, it's the opposite of an NFT. It's like Bitcoin, having an asset of one unit equivalent to the same asset of the exact same unit in value. So one Satoshi is equal to one Satoshi, $1 is equal to $1, one XRP is equal to one XRP. 1 ounce of gold is equal to 1 ounce of gold. That's what fungibility means, essentially. But yeah, I don't know why that would be used to establish evidence of a common enterprise. That does sound a little bit silly for the SEC to do that. I think they're really reaching here with XRP. Like, I get the concern with XRP being solicited to investors. I definitely think there's some protections that need to be there, but it's not a security. It doesn't represent the interests of Ripple. Not really. I mean, that's like, are you going to say the same thing about Ethereum for the Ethereum Foundation? I mean, the Ethereum Foundation is a foundation, not a company. But at the same time, is it representing the interests of the foundation? It's more or less the other way around. The foundation, Ethereum Foundation, is representing the interest of Ethereum, right? Because it's a blockchain network. And Ripple's, in a sense, representing the interest of the XRP ledger, right? I mean, you could look at it either way, I guess, but I think the SEC is just blind to that fact. Alderoty also cited that regulators were unsuccessful in their arguments in the Supreme Court's Howey case of 1946, 1 year after World War II ended, in which the SEC asserted that investment in a common enterprise was unnecessary if there was a community of interest, in which the court rejected, which he said proved the SEC was wrong then and is wrong now. It's heating up, guys. There's so much evidence here that really debunks the claim the SEC is trying to make. I don't see them being very successful in this. I don't think the judge, Annalisa Torres, is too happy with the SEC. I think a lot of judges are fed up with the SEC. It's a lot of just turf war battles. That's all it is. They just want control of the space. Looking at XRP right now, it has definitely been pulling back and having a correction. Not like super dramatic, but in a downtrend. Ever since we popped to highs in late March, early April. And these corrections are necessary. We're down through the 0.382 on the fib retracement. We've kind of come down close to the 0.236. We didn't quite bounce off of it, but got kind of close and then found some common ground. So the question is, grab my brush here. Do we go sideways and then take another leg down? Or do we retest the 0.382, bounce, and then make a move to the upside? That's entirely possible as well. The thing I'll note right now is that the RSI is oversold, like it is on most charts. The last time things were oversold was middle of March and late December, mid-December. All right, and after being oversold on the RSI, we had some nice rallies in everything, not just XRP. So I do think that this trend will continue upwards. All right. And if you zoom out, which most people don't do, XRP is actually looking pretty good. It is not too shabby. Look, it's finding higher lows. Higher lows all the way up since June of last year, very slowly. It's had a couple pops here and there. It's had one in September. We thought we'd get a move. It's had one in March here. We thought we'd get a bigger move, and we did make some higher highs. So I have some faith in XRP. If it wins this court case, this will be nothing. This will immediately rocket back up. So we'll keep a close eye on it. We'll see what happens. The court case, who knows if it wraps up soon or not? I think it will. I think we're getting very, very close. And I'd like to see this come to a conclusion because I think it's one of the biggest things holding back the cryptocurrency space. The whole notion of whether or not most cryptos are a security or a property or a commodity or anything else is really detrimental right now to the entire crypto industry. There's no certainty. And that's what's keeping people from buying And it's not like the market's dumping completely. It's just there's no buy volume. People have sold, and the people that have it right now don't want to sell, but they don't want to buy more. And we need to restore faith. We're not having like an insane amount of FUD, but there's zero FOMO. We can't get to FOMO. We can't get to that irrational exuberance, that excitement that gets the market to go until we get some more certainty. So let's pray that this is a bottom. Thought it could happen here. Definitely not. So we fell back. We'll see if it holds this former ceiling. It could come as low as 35. So just be patient. We'll see what happens. Be sure to like the video, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe to the channel. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Cheers.